Deep in the woods, we have discovered what looks like the remains of a ritual sacrifice in some old ruins. The bodies of the heretics scattered about look fresh, yet somehow withered into dried husk. A faint sound of dripping can be heard somewhere off in the ruins. We should grab what we can, but not linger long. Welcome everyone to MJ Hobby Corner. I'm Martin and I will be your host through this video. Now in this video, this is the final game of our Halloween series. And I chose to throw in this game because I really like Verrotwood. And that's what we're going to be playing today, Verrotwood. So before we begin, this is a game by Mike Crutchett. And I hope that I'm not mispronouncing that. I am sorry if I did. But this is a very interesting little set of rules. Now this is a game of folk horror. And generally Julie and I, we were not interested in these kinds of themes. However, we were pleasantly surprised with Verrotwood. And Julie and I have examples of this game, two-player examples, throughout the channel. Today I'm playing this game solo. And one of the neat things about this game are the rule mechanics. They are very, very simple. They are kept simple. The idea of creating your cultists in this game, this is a game of cultist combat, and you also have AI monsters that can also participate in the game. You can play it solo or you can play it two-player. And we have another game called the Old West, which incorporates a lot of the themes of the American Wild West. And it's a very interesting game that is based on Verrotwood. It's basically the same mechanic. It just adds a few more things, and you can play in the desert with guns and Gatling guns and skeletal gunslingers and all this cool stuff. Verrotwood is more of a sort of a medieval folklore type of game. At least that's the impression, right? By looking at all the weapons lists and everything. It's more of a medieval dark fantasy. So, alright, well, I will say no more. If you're interested in Verrotwood, I will have all the links in the description box. Let's get to our game. Today's cultists are called the Disciples of Blood. They worship a mysterious god named Ichor. He is a blood god. And this god demands blood rituals from his servants, also vampirism and sometimes cannibalism in exchange for the dark powers that this god grants. Now, the cultists here, we have Halifax, also known as the Beast. We see his beast form in the rear. That is one of his gifts. He is carrying a vampire dagger and light blade. We have Carla, the blood drinker. She is one of these who have taken to vampirism. She has a light blunted weapon, and her beast form can be seen in the rear. We have Thornblood, who carries a crossbow and is the only cultist who does not have a beast form gift. We have Lupa, the flesh eater, and her beast form can be seen in the rear. It is a wolf-like, werewolf-like creature in the back. Now, beast form is an actual ability, an actual ritual. It's a gift from the gods, and it is expensive to actually kick off. So I may not use it. We'll see. Ritual points are an important resource. So there we go. Those are the cultists. The scenario is called The Blood, the Riddles, and you can get it at Wargames Vault, which I am informed that Verrotwood Verrotwood products are on sale, so I'm not sure how long this lasts, but you could definitely hop on Wargames Vault, and this is a very inexpensive rule set to begin with. So really, you're getting a pretty good little game. So this will be a solo war game, and we'll see how our cultists do. Here is the board, and I had to change a number of things to fit the scenario, but basically we have this ruined structure right in the center, and all around this structure are the dried up corpses of the would-be cultists that failed in their ritual. Now we're gonna say that this was a blood ritual. There's a total of 5 corpses, and the whole idea is that my cultists, which are deployed right here, will have to search the corpses, every single one of them, and that will immediately end the game. The game also has a time limit of 5 rounds, so any corpses I don't search, basically I don't get the reward for. So that's going to be the idea. Now in this solo war game, the primary enemies are going to be a couple of reanimated, and these guys are a pain in the butt. You will see that very shortly. But there's also an Utenvert. And the Utenvert is a horrible creature composed completely of blood with all these tendrils coming out. And what it does is that it tries to force itself into a victim and steal that victim's blood for itself. So that's how it keeps alive. Now the Utenvert is the result of this failed ritual here. In turn 1, Halifax moves cautiously forward. Every figure moves 6 inches on the table. So he moves towards the first corpse lying by the ruin. Okay, so now that Halifax went, now we have to place the Utenvert. Place the Utenvert, we roll a d10, we see 3. So then we go to the corpse closest to the cultist that last activated, and we count clockwise. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and the Utenvert appears out of this corpse. Okay, and there he is, the Utenvert in all his gory glory, coming towards the cultists. And there is a rustling in the dead trees as a reanimate slowly moves towards Halifax, the closest figure. He moves 4 inches towards Halifax. These skeletons are extra challenges I added. Carla the Blood Drinker activates next, and she rushes along the edges of a pool. She's going to make a run move, so she moves a total of 6 inches. You generally do your standard move and then plus half that move in order to do a running move. And she rushes towards the center corpse. Okay. The Utenvert sees Stormblood and activates its first time. It will activate 3 times this round. It moves towards him 6 inches. And there is the horrifying blood creature. Quick Lupa, towards the corpses, Stormblood yells out as he moves 6 inches to the side and prepares to fire at the closest target. That's going to be the reanimate right there. Thornblood checks his range. The range is 12 inches for the crossbow. He is 7 inches away. So more than enough range. And in Verrotwood, we look at the stat of our cultist. We see dexterity is for ranged. It is a 2, so he uses 2 dice and rolls. Now there are no other bonuses as far as I know. So he rolls his dice. He picks the highest, which is a crit, and that is great news. And then the Skelly has a defense of 1. So he rolls 1 die and fails to defend. Now, the only way to take a reanimate out of the board is to have a crit. Otherwise, you cannot destroy them. And so the reanimate is taken out of the board. The old bones shatter with the impact of the projectile. The Utenvert activates a second time and moves 6 inches towards the blood drinker, Lupa. Its terrifying form materializing in front of the cultist. That is his second activation. Lupa runs 9 inches away from the Utenvert and goes on to support Halifax. Utenvert then moves into contact with Thornblood and tries to force itself in to the cultist, this way stealing his blood. The Utenvert has a strength of 2, and this is a lesser Utenvert, and so it uses its blood tendrils to attack. We take only the highest die. The highest die is a 9. And now Thornblood defends. He has a defense of 1, so he uses 1 die, and I have to beat that 9. So a 10 will have to do. Nope, he does not defend, and the Utenvert, the damage he does is 4. Now, Thornblood suffers 4 damage. We subtract that from 10, which is his total health, and he has 6 health left. The Utenvert steals some of Thornblood's life essence, and he screams as the creature does so. Okay, that is the end of round 1. The Utenvert has activated 3 times. We remove him from the board then. He disappears into a pile of blood, and he will reappear next turn. So our ritual point pool is 20. So Halifax uses 12 ritual points to transform into a beast. He now gets +1 strength and +1 dexterity for the rest of the game. So he will remain in beast form now. And now we have 8 ritual points left for other rituals. This ritual is 1 action. Some rituals are free actions, but not this one. And then Halifax will get the chance to move right next to a corpse, ignoring the skeleton. He cannot search it though, because it takes an action. All right, so now it is the Utenvert's placement. The Utenvert rolls a 4, and being that this is the last model that activated, we count from there, and we simply put it on the corpse on the far side, which is the 4. Okay, so there we go. All right. Utenvert is now on the board, but he can't see anything. The reanimate now attacks the beast. The reanimate uses 1 die and gets a 9, while the beast has a defense of 2, so it rolls his dice. And his highest result is a 3. The reanimate strikes the beast with his rotting hands and does 3 damage to the beast. So from 15, the beast goes down to 12 health. And here are the rules. Only choosing the highest die, always. Now summarizing the round a little bit, Lupa has moved here towards this corpse. She was over there. She did a run action. Is now by this corpse. The Utenvert then rolled a random die. I used the point of the 10-sided to give a random direction. So he has moved this way now, according to the die. Very roughly according to the die. And so he is there. He's about to move a second time. That's going to bring him closer here. And we see Thornblood has moved over here, so he's headed towards that corpse over there. All right, let's do the Utenvert. Utenvert now pops out of the ruins. He's in line of sight of the beast, and then that was his second activation. And the final cultist to activate is the blood drinker, the little vampiric cultist, and now she's searching a corpse. So now all I have to do is move into contact with the marker and have an extra action to be able to search So I remove that corpse from the board, and now I roll a 2d10, and that's how many favor I get as a reward. Okay, so we add those up, and that's favor that will be added to the cult. In the final activation of the Utenvert, he strikes Halifax, doing 4 points of damage to him. Here are the rolls. The Utenvert rolled a 9, and the beast defended with an 8, not enough, and so he takes 4 damage, leaving him going down from 12 health to 8 health. And this ends the round. We now go to round 3 with the positions of miniatures on the board. Now, she couldn't search that because she ran, so she took all her actions to run. All right, we'll see round 3 as the game progresses. Round 3, and the Utenvert has disappeared, and now our beast strikes at the Skelly, getting a 6 as the highest, so Skelly gets a 10 and blocks it. Oh my goodness. There are the rolls. Oh dear, okay. With his second action, because that was just his combat, he's going to move a little bit back. He is then going to take a free action, eat a mushroom, and gain 5 health back. So that gives him a total of 13 health now, from 8 to 13, because he eats a mushroom. Okay, and that is the end of that. Utenvert appears on a 9. When we count after his activation, when we count clockwise, he is the closest model that has activated by a corpse. He actually goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So he goes all around the clock and appears right by that corpse. Yikes. And now she turns around, our little blood drinker. She's going to get on her knees and pray. As she prays, that takes 2 actions. And we get 6 ritual points back. I can't go above what I originally had, so I add that to the 8. And now the reanimate moves and attacks our beast with rotting hands. He does a 7. And our beast defends with 2 dice. He defends with a 9, the highest roll, so nothing happened. Lupa the Flesh Eater now activates, and she's right by a corpse, so she's gonna search. She gets another 8, and now with that, she can use her other action and supplicate to her god, to her dark and foul god, and then she is gifted. So we use beast form. She turns into her beast form and gets the bonuses. That is a ritual. So now we subtract 12 ritual points from Utenvert. Now moves into combat. Gonna move him in. He strikes with a bloody tendril with 3 dice. And he does a crit. He does a crit on Beastman. Oh, he would need a crit to block. And he does! He blocks! At least that's the way I play. If the defending player gets a crit, then he can block that. Otherwise, no. So, yeah. Very good. Thornblood uses his movement of 6 inches to get up to this corpse here. Now he searches it, and let's see. Okay, and that is a 1, so we add 1 more to our favor. The liquid form of the Utenvert now strikes the beast. This is his second activation, and he rolls a 4. And now the beast can defend with 2. And the beast only rolls a 3. Oh boy, oh boy. So there's the Utenvert with the 4, and there's the beast with the 3. The beast now suffers another 4 damage from the blood tendrils. Our blood drinker moves here, which is about 4 inches, and then she's going to use the rest of her movement to just come right up to the corpse, and she is going to search, and that gives a total of 6 more favor. So that is 20, that is 30. So 30 favor in total for this adventure. And now the corpse is gone. Invert reforms from the blood of a corpse, another 9. The Utenvert then comes out of that corpse in the end there. Yee. All right. Let's see now. So Beastie strikes the reanimate down. But reanimate is not destroyed. He just goes prone. And on the reanimate's turn, the reanimate simply gets back up. And it takes a whole action for him to get back up. This time, the Utenvert has line of sight to a character. So it's going to turn towards Thornblood and move 6 inches in his direction with a sickening liquid movement every time it moves, a liquid sound every time it moves. And Lupa then moves 3 inches. She's actually gonna run, make a beeline for the final objective. I think we are definitely gonna need another round, and that's okay. We will finish. That's where the Utenvert will materialize next round. That's where it's gonna spawn. There's no other corpses. So let's see. Now the Utenvert goes again. So now that completes the movement, and the Utenvert attacks Thornblood. Ah! Utenvert attacks Thornblood. Oh my gosh, he does 2 crits. Oh, that dude is toast. Now that, and I think, I forgot to add the bonus to the crit the last time, I think. I think, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I did it right. All right, so Thornblood definitely doesn't defend. But because it's a crit, the damage is +1. So Thornblood gets 5 damage. And he now has 5 life left. Actually, wait, he had 6. That's right, he had taken damage before. So now he has 1 life left. So the blood tendrils force themselves into Thornblood and take much of his precious life force. So he is wounded very much. So now Thornblood gets to attack, because he is the last one to activate of the cult here, and I think he's gonna attack with his light blade. That's only a strength of 1. Now a crossbow can fire at point blank range. The range is 0 to 12 inches. So I think I'm just gonna fire the crossbow since he has a dex of 2. It'll give him 2 dice. So he's going to fire the crossbow point blank range into the blood creature, and then the blood creature does his final attack. This could be the end of Thornblood. All right, so Thornblood fires with a 4. The creature defends with 3. Holy crap. So oh dear. All right, so Thornblood had a 4. That is, no, a 7. I'm sorry. Thornblood had a 7. That is his highest number. And 10 for the Utenberg, who blocks. The arrow just goes right through his liquid form, but doesn't do any damage. Now the Utenberg strikes one more time. This could be it for Thornblood. Alright, so the Utenbert strikes with 3 dice. He gets a 9. And to defend, our friend Thornblood only gets 1 die. He rolls a 9! Alright. 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 So Thornblood actually defends, blocks the bloody tendrils before they can damage him again. Now, I forgot to move him. He could have moved out of combat because he still had 1 more action after firing the crossbow. But that's okay. I forgot. So he stays there. Alright, that ends this round. Going on to the final round. And this time, I'm going to give the cultist that's going to get the action is little Lupa, our little werewolf beastie, flesh eater. And she's going to the corpse. She will search it for another 4 favor, which puts us at 34 favor. And the corpse disappears, and the Utenvert cannot return now, as the corpse is destroyed and the game is over. We still have 1 skelly there, but that's okay. The game is over as soon as you destroy all the corpses. So we're just going to say that whatever power the corpses had, the skelly will just go back to bones. Okay, so let's explore the forest now that the game is over. If we were playing a campaign, this is what I would do. And first I choose one of my cultists. Let's choose this guy here, the wounded guy, Thornblood. He's almost on his way out. Let's see, can he do something to redeem himself? Okay, we have an ace of diamonds, and it is red. So ace of diamonds, it's right here on the first page. You come upon a large pond in a clearing. Oh, how fitting. All right. In a clearing, standing in the middle of the water is a beautiful woman. You feel an overwhelming urge to enter the water as she beckons you. Roll this model's intelligence stat. Okay, we have to roll the model's intelligence, and it's a D10. And let's see, his intelligence is a 1, so we roll 1 die. And let's see what he gets. He gets a 2 to 4. Okay. 2 to 4, you find yourself stepping into the water. Quickly you regain yourself when something unseen below the surface grabs your leg. You are able to escape its grasp and climb out of the water, injured, but with your life. Take 5 points of damage at the beginning of the next encounter. Okay, so now remember, he only has 1 life, but it happens at the end of, at the beginning of the very next encounter, the next game. So by then he's going to be back up to full health. So he's going to take 5 damage. He's going to begin that game with 5 health. So yeah, that's a pretty cool part of the game, is the explore the forest. Now they basically won. These guys basically won. They got 34 favor, plus they had 125 favor from before. And favor is what you use to increase the stats of your cultists. You can also buy equipment with favor. So it's like the game's currency. It's pretty cool. Well, with that, we finish our Halloween series. Sorry this video was late, but I couldn't get it. I couldn't squeeze in all 3 games. They were played basically back to back, and then I had to finish the magazine as well. So Scratch Builder Monthly is out. That is the November issue. If you want to help support the channel, all the scratch builds you see in all my games, they're all detailed in the magazine. Okay, and about Verrotwood, one of the things that ritual spell, you don't really need a beast form to represent it. I just did that for drama. Basically, when you do that ritual, you increase your model's strength and dex, so it becomes like a beast. So I decided to use those figures to represent the beast form as they use the ritual. Verrotwood is a great little game. It's a very simple combat system, very simple system. The little expansions that you can get, which the Blood, the Riddles is one of those. I own a few. You can play those as add-ons to your two-player game. So if you're playing the Awakening campaign, which the core rules details, you can use that as little solo play add-ons, which is very cool. So you can also play these co-op, or you can play these simply as a solo game, the way I just did here today. So there are little expansions that you can get in addition to the core rules. You can pick up Verrotwood on Wargames Vault. There is a little sale going on. And so definitely check it out. And, if you like these games, give them some support. I mean, they're not expensive games at all, and it's a good little system for sure. So go check out Verrotwood, and I'll see you in the next video, folks. Now I'm going to take a little break and continue next week. I'll see you with more content here on the channel. Have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video, folks. Thanks for all your support, and thank you for voting on these Halloween games.